Welcome to Manna at the Tap, a podcast from Tapestry Ministries. Each episode reflects on a daily Bible reading from the Revised Common Lectionary. I'm Gloria, a fellow traveler on a spiritual journey with the Tapestry community, and we refer to the daily Bible reading as our spiritual manna. It nourishes our souls, fostering spiritual growth as we share insights and interpretations that enrich our spiritual lives. Today is Monday, August the 11th, 2025, in the ninth week after Pentecost during the season of ordinary time. This is a time for us to live an extraordinary disciplined life as we experience spiritual growth. The lectionary reading is from the New Testament book of Hebrews. The author is not identified by name, but possesses excellent knowledge and understanding of the Old Testament. It is uncertain whether the recipients of the letter were a Jewish or Gentile community or a mix of both, and their location remains unknown. The lectionary reading is Hebrews chapter 11, often called the Hall of Fame of Faith. It is a detailed and carefully organized reflection on the nature and the role of faith, highlighting examples from Israel's history. Today's reading focuses on verses 1 to 7, divided accordingly. Verses 1 to 3 introduce the topic and meaning of faith, while verses 4 to 7 highlight the faith of three biblical heroes, Abel, Enoch, and Noah. Their stories are found in the early chapters of the Old Testament book of Genesis. Faith is presented as the quality through which the ancestors of Israel gained God's approval. Faith is real and tangible, serving as the firm foundation for everything that makes life meaningful. The writer of Hebrews explains that faith is the powerful and creative Word of God, which brings into existence things that were previously unseen. In the first chapter of Genesis, it is the Word of God that creates the narratives of creation, not as a single event at the beginning of time, but as an ongoing act of God's creation that continues to this day. The best way for the writer of Hebrews to show faith is to demonstrate it with several human examples of genuine, intense, and life-changing faith. The writer presents us with the remarkable faith of three men. The first person of faith that the writer of Hebrews introduces is Abel, who listened to God's instruction and obeyed them. His brother Cain, however, refused to listen to or follow God's instructions and ultimately murdered Abel. The second person of faith that the writer of Hebrews presents is Enoch, who walked in a relationship with God, pleased God, and was guided by the unseen reality of God. The third person of faith that the writer of Hebrews introduces is Noah, who reverently fears God. He was instructed to build an ark to save his household from the impending flood. This was a significant event that had never been seen before in the world, a great flood. The writer of Hebrews clearly states that it is impossible to please God without faith. The people of Noah's time ignored the warnings of the approaching flood because of their unbelief. Another writer in the New Testament, in the book of James, states that faith is demonstrated through our active obedience as exemplified by Noah. We all possess a measure of faith if we are willing to obey.